Greetings, EastEnders fans, and welcome to this week's Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast, where this week we'll be discussing the going-ons in Albert Square between the 6th and the 9th of January 2025. Hello, everyone. How are you? If you're in the UK, are you keeping warm enough? We hope so. Joining me today is the one, the only, Rob. Hello. Rob.
Hi,
how are you this week?
I'm all right, Ree. How are you? I'm
Do you know
much
what?
better. Go on.
I'm good because Rob is in much better spirits this week. Last week he was so snappy to me.
I was ill.
I couldn't say a boo to a goose last week without Rob going, "Do you mind? I'm too ill for this."
Look, I was ill, all right?
Rob, chill out.
Honestly, the most ill I've ever been in my entire life.
No, he was.
All the times I've had COVID. I've had COVID a fair few times, and that was nothing compared to this. It didn't touch the sides compared to what I had the past 2 weeks.
Well,
so far, 2025 can go do one because I've been ill for most of it.
You went to the doctors since we recorded last week. Tell everybody what happened.
Well, apparently, during
it's fair
the flu,
enough that you were bad.
During the flu, I had a really, really bad ear infection, okay? And that is still going on. I'm currently pretty much deaf in both ears. I've got my earphones in at the minute, which probably I shouldn't have. But I'm only just doing it for the podcast because that's what a pro I am. I'm prepared to lose my hearing for you people, all right?
Right.
Right. And he reckons that I've got it was in both ears as well. Normally you get an ear infection in one ear. I had it in both because since when did I ever do anything by halves?
Hardcore.
Of course. And so I'm basically feeling the effects of that. So that apparently is going to heal in up to 6 weeks. I've got to do this for. I'm going to be walking around to everybody going, what? Say? Who? Who'd you say? What? I'm going to need an ear trumpet. Yeah, exactly. So like Phil Mitchell.
You could,
hey.
You could do with maybe, it's only 6 weeks, I guess, but maybe we could do some overhead headphones, you know.
I might have a look. I might have a look, see if I can find any cheap ones. But there you go. But other than that, I'm absolutely fine, better, and recovering. So 2025, Brilliant. I can actually begin now, start feeling like a normal human being. So there we are then. On to EastEnders. I thought it was a pretty good week this week. Not as the biggest week compared to someone we've had so far over the past few weeks, but it was a good, strong, solid week, I thought. And we had revealed this week the choice that we will be making.
Yes,
the live
we
interactive.
Did indeed. I've seen lots of opinions about this online already.
Surprised by some of the opinions, actually. So I think we should get a good discussion out of that later on in the pod when we get to that story. So let's get on with
opening the calendar that you've got behind you, Rob.
So I might be well, but my memory hasn't restored. Yes, Reiss finally set this calendar over. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. Albert Square After Dark written on the front. It's all very, very good. And Ree, tell me about this year's calendar.
So can you just read the little message that's on there, Rob?
Yes, it says, especially for Rob, hope this has worked as best as possible from Ree.
Because, Rob, right, I've had to use what I can. I will give you a little clue. They are screenshots from the show and they weren't the best quality.
Okay.
It actually took me quite a long time to do this because I tried to edit the photos as well as possible.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, I'll let you open it. The grand reveal.
So the theme, so it's got a theme this year, has it? Same as all the others, yeah? Oh, open
You'll
theme.
see.
All right, fine. Okay. So on to January 2025, first month of the year. What we got here? Oh, what's this? Oh, I see. So this is a Naked Men of Walford calendar, isn't it? Marvelous.
It is.
What else would I want on my wall? And that appears to be Martin as Mr.
Martin
January.
in his two veg.
Martin in his two veg. Just in his boxers.
Yes,
lovely.
Mr. January.
Lovely.
At least you can see it because I think that was the poorest quality one.
Okay,
so hopefully. But when I say I screenshot and edited, saturated, colour, everything. Honestly.
Right, No, that's fair play. No, that's good. I'm quite happy to have Naked Men of Walford on my wall for the year, Ree. That's very, very good.
It's almost like you know me. Of a surprise. I know. It won't be that much of a surprise though, because it turns out everyone in Walford's got this calendar. So we're just with them though, aren't we?
I do live in Albert Square, Ree. Look at this sign. I do live in Albert Square.
Yeah. There we go then. We're with them, aren't we?
We will.
Right, now, Rob.
We'll get on with this week's Albert Square After Dark. So let's begin this week. We're talking about something that only really kicked off at the start of the week, and that was Nugget and Priya and going into Nish's funeral. Suki is home. What I love more than anything about this is the fact that for all the chaos that Nish tried to cause, right, Literally, the worst thing that happened in Aftermath was that Suki's broken her nose. After everything that happened, he knocked Denise out with a bottle.
How did
He
she even
poisoned
do that
Eve.
anyway?
I'm not entirely sure because she landed on her back, didn't she?
Handed on her back. He broke her fall. Unless she like rolled and then.
Yeah, maybe she hit a gargoyle or something on the way down.
Possibly.
He did slap her as well, didn't he? He did hit her at the top of the thing. So maybe that was it.
So maybe that was the fracture.
Maybe he proper right up there. Yeah, bless her. But all is well, it seems, in the Panasar house. Suki and Eve are back. The whole living room has been set up to be Hawaii. Because that's where they were going on their honeymoon.
Is that where they were actually going, Hawaii? I did wonder when Eve came in and said it.
It seems like a bit random to say, well, I don't know where you were going, but we're in the room like Hawaii, all right? Will that do you? Is that all right? Yeah, there you go.
I could imagine them booking the Maldives or something, those two.
Yeah,
they seem like
somewhere far away from Walford anyway. Yeah, because they can afford it. Suki could probably afford a decent honeymoon, can't she? Like go to Bora Bora. That's where I'd love to go. That's my dream location.
Bora Bora.
Paradise. You know those like huts in the middle of the sea?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look nice. Love to go there.
Can we just before we get onto this bring up something that's been spoken about a few times online about how which we mentioned last week, that they've both taken on the surname Panasar Unwin.
Yeah.
And people are saying, why has Suki not taken her maiden name? Why has she kept Panasar?
I don't know is the answer to that. Maybe she's just hoping to sort of because all her kids are called Panasar as well.
This is what I think, yes.
I think it's more to do with that. I think it's more to do with her reclaiming the name and like, because otherwise, why would all the kids want to still be called Panasar when she had lost the name Panasar? So I think it kind of makes sense that she wants to just sort of claim it for her own, and she's stuck Unwin on the side as well, which Nish would absolutely despise.
That's true, actually. I didn't think of it like that. He'd hate it being Panasar Unwin, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Sticking a lesbian lover on the end of his name. He would despise that, wouldn't he? With every fibre of his being.
There is certainly an argument to would she have not switched to a surname, to a maiden name, sorry. But I do also see why she wouldn't change her name so that she could keep the family name, same name as a kid.
Yeah. Panasar Unwin's got quite a nice ring to it, I think, as well. I think that's quite nice.
Also, they're the Panasars on the square, so for our sakes, she can't change her name, can she? Let's be real.
Exactly. So it's for us, really.
Anyway,
that's
sorry.
She did it for us.
I did want to bring it up, though, because I've seen a lot of people saying it. Yeah, of course.
So the only person that is not enjoying the return of Suki and Eve is Nugget, who seems to have absorbed the personality of Nish ever so slightly. That's a right go at Priya. It's like he's
Nish reincarnated as our Nugget at the minute, isn't he?
Tells Priya that she looks like a hooker, which you shouldn't say to your mother, really.
No.
Shouldn't say to your mother. Even if
you shouldn't say it to anybody, but especially your mother.
No. Especially your mother, though. If you're going to say it to anybody, don't say it to your mother. What I loved was Priya going, oh, right, yes, slamming the door shut, going, time for a chat, being you. Brilliant scene between Priya and
Nugget. Priya. I've told you she's a great mum. She's a great mum. I'm sorry.
She is. I agree, actually. She is a great mum. In terms of soap mums, Priya's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
She's had her problems in the past, and everyone has faults. But I just loved. I was like, if Priya was my mum, I would be kicking myself right now. No, I'd have been like, when she did that, she was like,
oh, and he was
like, oh yeah.
And he was instantly, wasn't he? You could see the terror in his eyes as soon as that kitchen door closed.
Yes. However, when she was talking to him, did you notice that he barely said anything?
That's because he was ashamed, I thought.
I didn't. I think it was just like a bit of misogyny, actually. Like, let the little woman talk.
I don't agree with that.
Taking it all in.
I don't.
Oh, do you not?
No, I don't. I mean, obviously because I'm the man, I don't see misogyny in anything.
Well, you do hate women.
I do hate women, so that will probably be it. Yeah. And you hate men, so that's probably why the misogyny instantly rings out. So I
thought it was, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. No,
anyway, regardless of... Go on.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, because the idea there, I think, was that Nish had sort of, like, he was sort of picking up on some of Nish's behaviour, which Priya instantly sort of bollocked him for and noticed straight away, which I thought was interesting. So, yes, I think at the start he was trying to be a bit like Nish, but I think as soon as Priya started, like, talking down to him and saying, like, what do you think you're doing? I think he lost that. And I think he was ashamed because he also burst into tears at the end of the scene as well. So I think that he was just absolutely ashamed. Okay. He would have argued back, I think, if he was still feeling that misogyny thing. Some people I did see thought that when he and Priya went to the funeral and let her in, and he opened the door for the car for her, was being quite respectful. Some people said that they thought that he smirked as she was letting her in. But what I thought that was him sort of like grateful that she was there and like sort of kind of happy that he was going with his mum rather than just on his own, I thought. But I am very, very open to the idea that this is the start of a little bit of a journey for Nugs.
I think it's more. I think it's probably more likely that maybe it was a bit of birth in the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Or it could have been that he was happy that his mum was going, but he's still about to turn into a nasty little so and so.
Could be.
It did feel very well done by Jaheim, by the way, because it did actually feel like Nish was coming through him in that moment when he said that to Priya.
Good. He's
got potential here, and it'd be a great way to see Nugget go. I mean, obviously not realistically, like you don't want someone to turn out like that, but for us to watch, it'd be absolutely brilliant to see this.
I mean, we did theorize a few weeks ago now.
You theorized.
Well, I theorized, that maybe some sort of big thing was coming for Nugget in terms of his attitudes, and very much based on the sort of men that he's grown up with. Very toxic masculine environment that Nugget has been constantly involved in. And a lot of sort of like not anti-women per se, but very much sort of the sense of the men of the hierarchy rather than anything else, with the likes of Nish and Ranveer, those sorts of people that have had a very strong influence on Nugget's life. And we kind of theorized maybe this could go down a sort of incel route further down the road.
You said the incel thing ages ago, Rob, and I think you're right.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's necessarily any indication that it's going in this way yet. It depends very much on what Nugget's next move is from here. If Priya's words landed, then I think he's just going to simply struggle with the idea that, because he's very much still grasping to the idea that Nish loved him and Avani, and he had that photo in his bedroom in the sort of flat that he was hiding in. He sort of had that close to him, and so that Nugget and Avani were really the only people that he really cared about by the end. So it depends on whether he feels like he's going to try and continue Nish's legacy, so to speak, or whether Priya's words really, really hit home. It seemed in that moment that her words hit home, but I don't know whether they're going to go down the other route with it.
It could depend though as well, because they might have hit home, but then if Nugget's going to be around everyone still slandering,
which they is,
his granddad, then he might start going the other way again and saying, you know what, I'm going to defend his honour and he weren't a bad guy. Because in fairness to Nugget, of course, he's seen all the behaviour of Nish, but he can be different. He's a young guy and he had a totally different relationship, didn't he, with his granddad, let's be real. So you can kind of see from his point of view why you might not want to hear everybody talking about Nish like that around him, and why it might end up making him go, well, do you know what? I don't think he was that bad of a guy, and I think that some of the things he said was right, so I'm going to do them as well.
There's definitely a potential. And I think that actually Nugget's journey with Nish has been probably the real one out of all of them, because of the rest of them, let's be real, and we commented on this throughout the entirety of most of the Nish storyline, the rest of the family flipped-flopped so much with Nish, and sometimes it kind of felt like, why are you still including him in your life? That makes no sense. Like Vinny was giving him the time of day, Ravi was giving him the time of day, even Suki was allowing him within 10 miles of the house after everything that he'd done, and it didn't, and it sometimes felt a little bit like, why is that allowed to happen? But with Nugget, it seems like that's the only character that really, really made sense for, because of the influence that Nish had. And Nugget's loyalty towards Nish never really wavered that heavily throughout the entirety of the storyline. So it makes sense for Nugget still to be there, I think.
Yeah, agreed, actually. He's been the most consistent with his relationship with him, hasn't he? Yeah, there's definitely not been any... Yeah, agreed. So let's see where Nugget goes then, because
It's going to be interesting, I think, also to see his relationship with Avani, because Avani seems to have, like, Avani's done with him. Avani's wiped her hands of Nish completely, and I don't think Avani will particularly care that picture was there. That won't bother her in the slightest, I don't think.
No, I don't think
He's
so.
very much on the side of the rest of the family, I think. So it's good. And also, Avani was all down for sending Nugget down, let's be fair, at one point during the New Year's thing. He was like, I'll call the police, I don't care. So it's going to be interesting to sort of see Nugget and Avani's relationship from here, how that develops, how much Priya will have to sort of keep an eye on Nugget, And it kind of feels like maybe this is the start of something for Nugget, but I don't know. I hope it is because I want more from Nugget, good or bad, because I think Jaheim is brilliant and he will knock anything he's given out of the park. So I don't know.
And will Ravi be too distracted elsewhere to be paying attention to how Nugget's behaving and therefore not really be having the stern words that he might need to have with him as well?
Well, it would appear, Ree, that the answer to that is very much up to us. So, the choice that we knew was coming for us in order to basically, we knew that we were going to choose who someone was going to choose to be with romantically. And it has been revealed that the choice is going to be who will Denise choose, Ravi or Jack? That is the choice. That will be revealed in the live episode that will be playing at some point during the anniversary week episodes. So, Ree, what are your immediate thoughts? Who, as of right now, if the vote was today, at time of recording, who would you be voting for?
Ravi.
Right. And I cannot believe that there seems to be quite a lot of people who go, Jack. Like, what are you talking about? That relationship makes no sense. Yeah, like, people really want... Do you know what it is? I think a lot of it is that people want Ravi and Priya to be together.
There is that, and I was very team Ravi and Priya. However, it'd be pretty boring if they were together. Like, I feel like we need a bit of a...
Yeah.
There's a potential for another triangle to get involved then when he is with Denise, so, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? Number one, I don't want Priya tied down in a relationship. I want her free and making chaos go everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I think if Priya is with Ravi, she's going to settle somewhat as a character, and I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Secondly, Ravi has had like 18 months to get with Priya, and he's not really shown her that much attention, I wouldn't have thought. Like, yeah, we've had crumbs, and we've had scenes where it's like, but he has been so much more focused on Denise throughout the entirety, right? Even when Priya's been around, like, Denise has been very much the focus of Ravi's attentions. So I don't think Ravi is that interested in Priya, to be honest.
Also, let's not forget that Priya at one point was kind of getting with Nish, so it'd be kind of fair enough if Ravi got a bit...
Mind you, Denise doesn't seem that bothered about it. Denise doesn't seem that bothered about that with Chelsea.
Yeah, we're just thinking that actually... anyway. Maybe they made for each other.
You know what Albert Square's like.
We do know.
Practically incestuous. So the Denise and Ravi affair kicked up quite... Well, it's not even an affair. They're both single, so it's not an affair, is it? They basically...
They're just kind of keeping it on the... It's just a secret relationship, isn't it? Not an affair.
And it's a hot secret relationship, really, let me tell you.
Oh!
Yes. Oh, yes.
You know what? They've got chemistry that Denise and Jack we've never seen having this kind of chemistry, have we?
Yeah.
They've really amped it up, these two,
Exactly.
But is it all lust, Rob? I know that the keys. Yeah. I know Denise has said no, he's got depth and stuff. So
which he has.
Is it deeper than that?
He's also got oak tree arms, Denise. Let's not pretend otherwise, love. Yeah, let's not pretend otherwise. And as Kim very graphically said to her, clearly he makes it purr. How'd they get away with that at 7:30 on BBC One?
I know, I did wonder that, but is that just because we understand it?
Yeah. So right, okay. An actual pussy joke. Lovely. We haven't seen them on BBC One since the days of Are You Being Served? Lovely. Fine. But I think that relationship completely and utterly earns those sorts of jokes because they are a hot couple. I think the chemistry's off the charts. They actually slept together for the first time this week.
First time, yeah.
Very little sleeping involved because quite clearly they did it against the fridge.
And you said as long as it's not in the kitchen for that 5-star rating.
So many people have had sex in that kitchen. All right, it's basically a brothel, that kitchen. Okay,
I wouldn't be going and eating there. Put it that way.
It would definitely lose a few stars off its Michelin rating, wouldn't it? Yes, it's not
very hygienic.
Yes, you have to get your blue spray out for that. There's different sprays in the kitchen for different sorts of substances, isn't there? I don't know which spray counts as for that.
It's just anti-bac you'd be using around there, yeah.
Yes, anti-stain still surface.
Maybe layers of it.
Yes, so that has kind of kicked off. And Denise, I think, at the moment is sort of like, let's not tell anybody yet. I've still got to try and maneuver my way around Chelsea and sort of work out how I'm going to approach that. Because Chelsea is kind of quite happily. We saw Chelsea this week just getting drunk about the idea that Nish was dead, which fair play. But getting, quite kind of happy with life. Telling Denise how much she loved her, and it feels like her attitude would somewhat change if she knew that Denise and Ravi were a thing again.
Yes, 100%. We definitely had that little moment of, I love my mum. Yeah, well, you might not love her that much in around about 5 to 6 weeks' time when a decision's made
Yeah.
where it's very clear. Well, actually, having said that, I thought it was very clear that everyone's going to pick Denise and Ravi, but you're saying otherwise, then
There
there's a
does
lot
seem to
saying
be
Jack.
quite a lot of consternation about it, and people saying, no, I think Denise and Jack, which to me is
Well, there you go
madness.
then.
It's
Well, there you go.
madness to
It's
me.
obviously a good choice because I
Yeah,
thought, what a pointless choice. Everyone's going to pick Ravi, but
yeah.
as it turns out, everyone's quite divided. So there you go.
But here's the thing with this, right? This is
Mm.
essentially a choose your own adventure storyline, okay? And it is going to be very easy. Don't forget, the writers know what they're doing, all right? And at this stage, they know what they've written, they know what's been shown, they know what the chemistry between Denise and Ravi is like on screen,
Hmm.
right? So they know what the viewers are seeing, they know what the viewers are thinking. I imagine they've got us right where they want them at the moment. And in the coming weeks, they may well turn it around and make us think
Yeah.
about Denise and Jack. They'll have a job to make me think that, mind. But I think the thing with Denise and Jack is that people are really kind of fond of the family angle, with
Yeah,
Ricky and
I get
Amy and
that. Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So they
Hmm.
like that. But I just feel like Denise and Jack was such a terrible pairing, like a terrible relationship that clearly didn't work because both of them went off and cheated. So
This is the thing. There's too much history that's gone down with Denise and Jack.
yeah,
He had a full affair, like
yeah,
with
with
Stacey.
Stacey.
That's enough for you to say,
Yeah,
no, Denise, leave it in the past.
enough.
Like you said,
Yeah.
they both had an affair as well. Like, well, Denise kind, not quite.
She
She
didn't even
nearly
have a full
did. She was
affair, did she?
close
She had,
enough.
do you know what she had? She had an emotional affair,
Yes, yes.
whereas Jack had a proper
Somewhat
affair.
emotional, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
exactly.
emotional. Yeah, yeah.
So for
Whereas,
me, if Jack and Denise had just parted because they were like, oh, we're just kind of going through a phase where
yeah,
we want different things in life and we've kind of drifted naturally, but then they started like, magnetizing back towards each other,
yeah,
then I'd understand the decision. But seeing as though you had a full affair with Stacey, it's like,
yeah.
why are we trying
Which
to
is
decide whether
which, by the
Denise
way,
and Jack are
hasn't
going
been
to get back
mentioned once
together?
since it finished, has it?
No.
No, no.
Having said all this, I remember when she were about to sign the divorce papers and everything, and I went, "Do you know what? Weirdly, I kind of think I want Denise and Jack to get back together." So who knows? Like you say, maybe they're going to
Yeah,
completely flip it around in the next coming weeks,
yeah.
and
Because I
we're all
kind
going to
of
be toing and froing alongside
yeah.
Denise in this decision.
Yeah, I think so. Because at the start of this, when it was revealed what the choice was and who the choice was between, I was sort of like, I feel like it would have been a better choice if you asked us who does Ravi want to be with, Priya or
Yes,
Denise, right?
yes, 100%. That's where I
But
thought it was going after Monday's
yeah,
episode.
but then
Yeah,
maybe they'll build up the Ravi and Priya thing a little bit more in the coming weeks as well. Because
yeah.
obviously, I assume what's going to happen with Nugget is going to inadvertently kind of bring Priya and Ravi together a little bit more in trying to work out what's going on with him. So
And they
maybe that,
already had a little. They already had a little moment where Ravi was talking to Priya as well about what happened and how he'd pushed
yeah,
Nish. And
she's 100%
the other
behind him.
thing. Yeah, the thing I'd say with Priya is she's a lot more familiar with the going-ons of the
Mm,
Panasars and
yeah,
what's kind of more normal life for them, maybe compared to Denise, who's a
yeah.
bit of a goody two shoes in comparison.
Yes, but if only he knew. But
Well,
bear in
yeah.
mind, of course, that Denise is currently the only one that knows exactly, apart from Suki, that knows exactly what went on top of the balcony. Priya doesn't know that. Priya doesn't know that Ravi pushed him.
It, she
Denise,
she
I
does.
don't
He
think
said, didn't they?
I don't think she actually knows that he put like. I think she sort of.
I thought he said I pushed. No, he literally
Does he
said
know?
to her,
Does
I
she know
pushed
that?
him.
Does she know
Yeah,
that?
she said
Okay.
I pushed him, and he said, "We know, everyone know. You had loads of witnesses there. Everyone's fine with it." I'm sure he told her this week. Like, yeah,
Well,
I pushed him.
no.
I'm not a
Well,
hero. I pushed him.
Well, either way, Denise, I think Denise has still got the stronger argument there though, because Denise found out that that's what had happened and still went back there. Whereas I feel like Priya almost sort of like had to say that in some way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like she's within the Panesar household and she knew what was going on with Nish all the time. So she kind
Yeah,
of like
true.
Priya would have
Yeah,
done that herself, given half the chance. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
yeah.
Denise is sort of like, oh, you killed another father figure in your life,
Father
did you?
figure.
Great, great. Oh yeah, no, I'll still have sex with you against the sink. That's fine. So I feel like
Then
Denise,
again, Denise does know Nish's ways. I mean, she
yeah,
had,
yeah.
you know, Christmas 2023 was all essentially because of Nish in a
I
lot
mean,
of
I suppose they've
ways.
got that in common, haven't they? They've got,
Yeah,
they both
yeah,
tried to off Nish, and Ravi was just happened to be successful about
yeah.
it.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There you go.
Bonding over it. It's nice. It's nice,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, something to chat about, isn't it? In between, it's a nice pillow
In
talk.
between.
So
Yeah.
at the moment, I'm very much like, well, obviously Ravi. Obviously,
Yeah.
I wanted to go with Ravi, but I wonder if they'll be able to manipulate it ever so slightly in the coming weeks. We've got just over a month before we have to make this decision, I think. So, can they change our minds?
Yeah, easily. Like you say, they know what they're doing. There's
Yeah.
time. But then, like you say, it seems like they don't need to change everybody's minds, and some people are still Team Jack now. So,
Well, let us know in the comment section. Who are you siding with at this moment? And do you think your mind could be changed? Do you? Yes, we'll see. We shall see. Right, ladies and gents, let's talk about George. So, ladies and gents, the Cindy storyline was ticking along in the background this week. And do you have where are you at with the suspects list at the moment, Ree?
honestly, I've got a lot to say about all this. Not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie, I genuinely don't believe any of the 9 suspects we've been given
No,
would do
I still think it's
this at
Kojo.
all. Yeah, so do I. But then it's like, why have they not put him on the suspect list when
Exactly.
I don't know, are they double bluffing?
Uh,
I shall I tell you what I thought they were trying to lead us to believe this week,
yeah,
other than the duff on Thursday where they were trying to imply it were Ian.
which it so isn't.
I
But
thought
yeah,
I think they keep trying to hint that it's Elaine. And
Elaine.
again,
All
I
right,
don't think
okay.
I think there were a lot of moments this week where you were supposed to go, oh, why is Elaine saying that?
Mm.
Oh, Elaine. And for me, again, Elaine doesn't even make sense to be on that list
No, she
because
doesn't. Or she
Cindy dug her
does.
own hole on Christmas Day, so why would she go and attack
Yeah,
her for it anyway?
yeah,
Then again, I guess George called Cindy his wife to Elaine, so I guess
yeah.
she might have beef with that.
She
But
does. Yeah, I mean, in terms of soap motives, she's up there.
yeah,
Like, it makes sense. But in
true.
terms
Yeah,
of like, do I believe that Elaine is capable of shoveling Cindy at the back of the head? No, I don't. I
no,
still, at this moment, I agree with you. I fully think it's still Kojo at this point, and
yeah,
they've just removed him off the suspect list to try and avert a little bit of suspicion of him. But because they've done that, it's made me more suspicious of him. I think at the moment, what I think has happened is that Kojo did it, Anna saw it, and sort of tried to
yes,
help
I think
out,
Anna saw it. Yes,
and
yes,
that's why she was washing her hands like
yeah.
fearfully.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what will be revealed is that Gina, because Gina was sort of conspicuously absent from some of the events on Christmas Day. So I think what happened is that Gina was taking drugs somewhere,
On the
which we'll
sesh,
discover.
yes.
Yes. And yeah, I feel like most of the suspect. I think Lauren. I feel like Lauren did her thing by revealing the CD and playing that to everybody. Yes, Cindy had a go at her afterwards, but I don't think that was enough to then push Lauren to whack her over the head with a shovel.
No, to be fair, out of the suspects we've been given, who'd be the most believable to have attacked her, I would put Junior and Lauren up
Yeah,
there, in fairness. I could
yeah.
see Lauren more than any of the others being likely to do it, but I
Okay.
still don't think that she did.
No.
No.
And something else that kind of came to the forefront this week was the fact that George has hidden a t-shirt in the
Yes.
cupboard, in the closet, covered in
Hmm.
blood. Now, my first question straight away is why hide it? Why not just throw it in the bin or put it in the washing machine? Or why hide it? What's he going to do with it? Why hide it in the closet where it's clearly going to be found?
Because I think what's happened is he got back, saw Cindy got attacked,
Yeah,
yeah, hid it there, but then he's not been living there, has he, all this time? So he's been trying to wait for his moment
true,
to find it again. I think that's what it is. Then
true.
this week he went back, told Elaine, "Oh, I thought I'd come and put a shift in." Actually, we're there to try and get the
Try and get rid of
t-shirt
the
out.
t-shirts, but they'd
Yes.
found it before that
So
happened. Okay, that
yeah,
makes
so it
sense.
wasn't that he
All
was
right.
trying to keep it hidden. He just didn't have chance to move it, I
Yeah.
think.
All right. That does make sense. Because sometimes what will happen in this sort of situation is a very, very obvious evidence that points to somebody doing
Yeah.
something will have been hidden somewhere. And it's like, why have
Yeah.
you hidden it there? That's a very
Hmm.
silly thing to do. That makes no
Yes,
sense.
of
Why have you done that?
course.
So, yeah, all right. I get that. George claims that this is because he went and had an illegal fight on the night
Yes. Hmm.
and punched
As we
somebody
suspected.
senseless, as we suspected. Ended up getting his t-shirt covered in their blood, and that's why
Hmm.
that he has a t-shirt covered in blood. I mean, and the girls have now hidden that t-shirt in a bin. That's been seen by Peter. So Peter
Yes.
and the girls are now sort of kind of accusing each other's fathers because Gina and Anna think it's weird
Hmm.
that Ian hasn't been to see Cindy. I don't think it's weird that Ian hasn't been to see Cindy whatsoever. by the way.
Yes, but what is weird is that everybody's been under the impression that he's been going to see her.
Right. So where's he been going?
Yeah, because I'm sure Kathy said it last week. Oh, Ian's busy. He's visiting Cindy. Peter's said it. I'm sure, like, oh, he's been visiting Cindy. Then to find out he's not.
Well, we have had Ian in the past do this sort of thing, and actually, what Ian tends to do in this sort of situation is go and see a prostitute.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as you were saying it. Actually, maybe.
So is he doing that again?
I hope so. It'd be very on brand for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, bless him. Yeah, it could bring Rainey back or something. I don't think Rainey does prostitution anymore, but yeah, that's the kind of thing that Ian tends to do. So maybe that's what he was doing. This is the thing. It's interesting that some of these characters all have things that we know they go and do when the chips are down. Like Gina will go and take drugs. Yeah. George will go and have an illegal fight. Ian will go shag a prostitute.
So, in your mind, Ian's definitely not attacked Cindy then,
Never in a million years. Never in a million years. Even if Ian... But this is the thing. Cindy is the love of Ian's life, all right? They've made that very, very clear. So, even if Cindy is having multiple affairs, i.e. like she does, it's never going to be... Like, for God's sake, Cindy tried to kill Ian once, all right? And Ian still has never done anything that bad
still took her back these years.
Exactly. So you really think that Ian's going to whack Cindy over the head with a shovel? No. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Never in a million years.
Something that we've not mentioned, sorry to rewind a bit. So when Elaine and the girls have found the shirt with the blood on of George's, were you surprised that they all thought he were capable of doing it? Because that to me seemed very bizarre.
Well, I think the thing is though, I think the scene on I think it was Monday's episode where Peter and Junior had that big old fight, which was hilarious. By the way.
Oh yeah, God, a lot happened actually.
Yeah. I thought it was quite a strong scene actually, where they were all just throwing accusations at each other, and that's the mindset all of them are in at the moment. Because
and Lauren went, "Go on, smash his face,
smash his face in."
Yes, Lauren.
Sure. You know. I think that's the mindset a lot of them are in at the moment, because you've got to bear in mind, this is Cindy in a roundabout way is close to every single one of those people in some way, right? So, and they know that one of them did it, all right? So I think naturally you're going to start being very, very suspicious of everybody, all right? And in a way, you can sort of see an argument where George might have done that. Like, I don't believe I don't believe for a second that George did it. I don't think George did it at all. But in terms of the way that they're all throwing accusations around at the moment, I can kind of see why they would suddenly think, oh, George has hidden a T-shirt. His T-shirt that we know he was wearing on Christmas Day, and it's covered in blood. The Christmas Day being the same day that his wife got whacked over the head with a shovel. Mind you...
Ex-wife.
Yeah, sorry, Elaine. Mind you, the amount of blood that was on there, I don't think can be like gotten from what actually happened to Cindy, can it?
But, okay then, so even if they did believe that George was capable, to just be like... Oh, it's fine though, you do. We totally understand because
we get it.
Being a mega bitch on Christmas Day, weren't she? So fair, Dad, don't worry about it. Even to be like that, it's like, no, sure. But then again, even like Elaine's been saying a couple of things, so they must have all been pretty confident that Cindy's going to wake up, because Elaine said a couple of things like, "I wish I'd done it." I'm like,
Elaine is not.
She's still in a coma. Like that's not.
Let's be very real here. When that happened and Cindy was found and is in a coma, you know for a fact that Elaine went into a room somewhere on her own and just went, ah! Absolutely loved her life and had had a good old cackle all to herself. You know she did.
Yeah, I actually don't think that she would have though. I do genuinely think that she would care a little bit. Do you know?
No, I don't. I don't think Elaine gives two shiny shites whether Cindy lives or dies. I really don't. Like,
in that case, she could have done it.
She could have done it, but I don't think she did. I don't think Elaine is that sort of person. But I don't think she cares whether Cindy lives or dies, and it probably works out better. Do you think they should be that
cold there to say it when, like, her two daughters? No one seems that worried about Cindy, even though she's in a coma.
Well, she hasn't left things in a great way, has she? Like, at the moment, they are all pretty pissed off with her. Yeah.
Even still,
I mean... What do you think in terms of the George and Junior scene? Because they both separately went to the hospital to see her, and they both separately saw each other, but were unaware that the other one had seen the other one.
Yes.
So I can understand Junior going to the hospital. I get that completely, because we know that Junior is head over heels for Cindy, all right?
I'm more surprised he didn't go sooner, actually. I must admit.
Yeah, it was made very clear that was the first time he'd been. Yeah. But then again, I would have thought that there will be kind of like quite a heavy, not like heavy, not going to be standing guard outside her room, but there would be kind of police presence around the hospital. I think about that, wouldn't there? Seems as though she was
No,
attacked.
I don't. Oh, I don't know actually. Yeah, but
Maybe.
as far as Walford police are
Yeah,
concerned, it could have been a random attack. It's not
yeah.
necessarily a family member. So, I mean, I don't think they'd use their valuable resources at the moment.
They very
I could
rarely
be
do for
wrong.
anything, to be fair. Wolford Police, do
No,
they?
exactly.
Um, I mean, well, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, the suspect list is now going to sort of carry on. Someone's going to get like false arrested, so we'll know it's not them. Like the first
Yeah,
person that gets arrested for this, it means that we
it's
can
not
take them
them.
off the list,
Yeah.
100%. And if we are, let's say it like this: if it's not Kojo, right, and it is
Hmm.
one of those 9 suspects, who do you think it is at this point?
Junior or Lauren.
I'm gonna go rogue and say Anna, even though I don't think it's
No,
Anna. I
I don't.
exactly, but
No, no.
I feel like because they're gonna want to surprise it, and I
Yeah,
feel
true, and it
like
would be a surprise.
out of the two daughters, Gina seems the obvious one because she's a bit more flighty and a bit more sort of
Hmm.
like, and if she
Yeah,
was on drugs, then she might have done something crazy, which
yeah.
makes me think that. And why was Anna washing her hands so kind of scared and everything? It just,
Mm.
I don't know. Anna is kind of quite high up my suspect list. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's Kojo. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but I
no.
do think Anna is involved in it somewhere along the line.
The only thing I'm thinking with Junior is, like, no offense, but now that the affair's come out, would we really miss Junior being on the square? That's kind of been his role so
Okay, yeah,
far. Not
yeah, yeah,
saying that
yeah.
there isn't any more
A
potential.
place for him. Yeah,
Yeah, he's shown that he's got a bit of a dark side.
yeah,
I still
absolutely.
don't think that he would necessarily attack a woman, but out of the 9 suspects, is the one that we know probably the least.
True.
Therefore, you could easily go, oh, actually, it turns out Junior has got a bit of a history of,
Mm,
for all we know.
yeah.
Um, and the way that he's like, I like a bit of excitement. He's got, like I say, he's got that dark side. So for all we know,
But
it could
excitement's
it
all going
could
to
be
knock you out of a shovel.
capable.
That's exciting.
Oh, the
Oh,
affair's released now. What
oh,
excitement can we have next? Shovel? Who left
double.
that
Oh,
shovel
I know. I'll be the suspect in a
there?
who done it. Yeah. So who knows? Who? I mean, let us
Yeah.
know, please, in the comment section where your brain's at with this at the moment. Like at the moment, I'm pretty sure it's Kojo, but I do think that Anna is involved. I really, really do.
Yeah, I do. I think it's that as well.
And if it is not Kojo, then I guess I'm saying it's Anna, which is quite crazy to think about. But genuinely, I think they're going to go down the most surprising route, and I think the person that you would
Yeah.
suspect the very least would be Anna.
I would say Peter maybe as
I
well would
agree.
be.
I think Peter's very low down the suspect list,
Yeah.
but there's other little clues as well, like the fact that her necklace was missing.
This is it. Peter's the most likely person to want to take that, surely.
Yeah, or Ian because he gave it to her as a present.
Yeah, true. So maybe Ian did see that maybe Ian didn't do it, but he came across the body and didn't call an ambulance, just took the necklace back
Mm,
whilst he was angry or something,
yeah. But
potentially.
Cindy has now come round and she's murmuring
Yes.
Ian's name, so we shall
Right.
see. Go
So
on.
I've got a bit of a problem with this.
Oh yes.
The hospital ring Ian
Can we
to
just say?
tell
Can I just
him,
say fittest doctor in the world? Can I just say? Carry on.
God,
I would
God, you
love to come
noticed
round and
something
see that
like
man on
that.
my bedside. I'm just saying. All right. I'm just saying. Okay. Carry on.
Maybe Cindy will be. You know what she's like, Rob.
Oh,
Maybe
I
Cindy's
what I
thinking
love
the
was the fact
exact
that even
same.
when Cindy's in a coma, she's got gentleman callers coming round all the week.
Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, that
Yeah.
is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, so my issue was if you're about to bring her around from this coma, right, would you
Yeah.
not make
Yeah.
sure that this next of kin person sat there next to her or a
I don't
family
know.
member?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I feel
I'd
like
like to hope if I was in an induced coma and you were bringing me out of it, you'd have a family member there, not some like strange doctor being like, "I you love yeah, you're in hospital, you'll be right there. All right,
given
do
the
you want a cup of
choice,
tea?"
if it were a choice between that doctor and half my family, I'd go for
Oh
that doctor
well,
all day long. I'm just,
maybe Cindy
that's,
would as well, to be
I
fair. So
think
there
we
you
both know
go.
that she definitely would. But we'll see. We shall see. This story obviously will unfold further along as we go for over the next month. Maybe our suspect list will change massively in the coming weeks. Who knows? Right, ladies and gents, final storyline of this week. It's a heartbreaker. Let's talk about Nigel. So, Ree, you know how we say that I don't cry over telly? I have a feeling In fact, I don't even have a feeling.
Oh,
I
I
know
thought you
for
were
a
saying you had already
no,
this
not
week. I was
yet.
like, really?
I haven't yet, but I know for a fact this is going to make me cry. This storyline.
Yeah, and I think most people might know somebody who's been affected by dementia
Yeah,
as well, so it
yeah.
can be a bit more relatable for a lot of people. And we all love Nigel,
Oh,
so
he's the nicest man in the world. It's so
he's the
heartbreaking.
nicest man. I
So
know,
it
bless
was
him.
revealed this week that Nigel has been diagnosed with early onset dementia or young dementia. And obviously, EastEnders has then released a statement saying everybody they're working with to make sure the storyline is as realistic as possible.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just going to be heartbreaking. We did theorize this is probably where the storyline was going to go. It's now been confirmed. I kind of wonder now, how far do we think? So he reckons that he was diagnosed with it about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we've seen sort of evidence that his memory isn't great. Like, he's got reminders in
Hmm.
his phone to remind him to do things like have dinner and like
Yeah.
shower and go to work and all of that kind of thing.
Mm.
So where do you think this is going to go from here in terms of how quickly the condition is going to affect him?
This is what I can't decide because we know he's back for a fairly longish
Yeah,
stint. So is it going to be that he stays with Phil, then eventually tells his wife, and then he'll just go back to his wife and we'll not see the end part of it play out? We're just going to see it getting a bit worse while he's with Phil, and then it'll be Phil who gets in touch with his wife, maybe.
I tell you what,
And
it's
then
going
he
to do
leaves.
wonders
Or
for
do you
Phil's
think he's
depression.
going to?
This, isn't it?
Well, it will give him purpose, like you say, though,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah.
he will want
Um,
to help him. Or is he going to die with us while he's back?
I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think
Do you
this
think?
obviously is going to go beyond the anniversary. Um, I do wonder if they're going to use this storyline to do nostalgic things. Like, is he going to?
Yes.
Are they going to do something like he's going to see Debbie, and they're going to bring the Debbie's actresses back, and sort of do a little sort of memories scene with. There's ways they could play with that. I think
And
seeing as though
it'd
we know.
kind of work. I think they'd be capable of making it work.
Well, they've already the phone call, the voice message from Julie. That's the original actress that played Julie in the 90s.
So we're
So
going to get her back then at
she's going to
some
come back
point, you
at
would
some
think.
point.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, I will be very very surprised if we don't have in some form of Debbie cameo at
Mm.
some point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I can see that happening. But how they'll do it, yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Obviously, they've got to keep that.
Maybe a bit of a Pat and Peggy reunited in his
Yeah,
final moments,
yeah,
maybe.
I think so. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Go on.
Is that where it's going to be? Is it going to be a bit of a Phil euthanasia storyline with Nigel?
Maybe, maybe. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be
Oh,
interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting. And we know for a fact that Paul Bradley is going to absolutely nail this and knock it out of the park. It's so
yeah,
sad. It's so, so heartbreaking, this story. Because
yeah.
Nigel is the nicest person in the entire world.
He's
The
the
nicest person
nicest
that
guy in
Wolford's
the
ever seen.
world that he'd rather live on the streets than let his wife have to live
Yeah,
with the
that's
pain of seeing it.
heartbreaking.
Although he's not thought that one through very
No,
well,
he
let's be
hasn't.
real, because
No, of course he hasn't.
probably in a quite a bit being like, where have you
Yeah,
gone? Like, why have you just
yeah.
run off and not
Well, I've
told
just
me
ran away
anything?
then. But it's quite heartbreaking.
Yeah,
It really, really is. And obviously, yes, I think that Julie is going to come back to the show at some point and have some scenes with him. I think that's a good thing
yeah,
to do. Grant returning, I think, is going to clearly be quite a big part of this as well. It's
yes.
kind of so interesting that Nigel came back to Walford for memories, and it's like once you know actually what's wrong with him, there is such a sort of like heartbreaking resonance to that first line that he
Hmm.
said to Yolanda. Yolanda and Nigel, by the way, they are made to be best friends,
There's a new Dot and Nigel, aren't they?
aren't
It
they?
makes
Just
perfect sense. She gives
they've
him the
even
advice like Dot probably
yeah,
would have as
they've
well.
even got Yolanda actually quoting sections of the Bible now, like
Perfect.
Dot
Yeah,
used
but
to.
it's perfect, isn't it? Yeah.
Give her 20 Dorchester Super Kings menthols and let her get on with it. I say,
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
yeah.
Very
Oh my
fitting.
god, my heart breaks. So
Yes. How long is it going to take for Phil to realize? Is he going to tell Phil, do we think? Because now Yolandi knows.
yeah, I mean, I feel like he's not going to be able to hide this so much longer, is he?
No.
Because this is going to get, because there's no two ways about it. This is going to get worse, and he knows that.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know what his plan is necessarily. I think he kind of thought that I've come back to Walford. Maybe I mean, I don't even know. He wasn't expecting to see Phil there, I don't think. He wasn't expecting to sort of be living with Phil while this was going on, I don't think.
No, that wasn't his intention
No.
when he went back to Walford. Like I say, I think he just went back for the memories, didn't he? To
Yeah.
go see his old
Yeah.
stomping ground. Maybe in his brain, that's where the time of life that he'd be going back to when he lived
Yeah.
there would make sense, to be
Yeah.
fair.
And it's interesting because he can reel off everybody that he knew in Walford. Like he can say, I didn't really know Sonia that well, but I know Carol very well. Obviously, I lived with
Yeah.
Mrs. C. He can talk, he was having a conversation with Kathy and remembered
Yeah.
Cindy and all that kind of. So
Yeah.
people that he was living with in Walford at the time, he could reel off. But like he said to Yolanda, ask me about what I was doing this morning. I haven't got a clue. So
I know my granddad had dementia.
yeah,
It totally fits the bill. He were thinking that he were in his 20s. I think I've already mentioned this, thinking he were
yeah,
at work,
yeah,
reeling off all his workmates to me, reeling off like old relatives that I've not even heard of. And he's like, yeah, my cousin such and such. And I'm thinking, who do you think you're talking to right now then?
yeah,
Because like
yeah,
I weren't around when they were. So yeah, it's very fitting that he, like he says though, I can remember everything from yesteryear, but can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Or because there
yeah.
was one point, oh, sorry,
Go on.
the boxing den.
Yeah.
Phil's trying to give it to Nigel,
Yes.
and then Yolanda comes to him at one point and says, "Oh, because you're having the boxing den." He's like, "Oh, I told you about that, did I?" That was another
Mm.
massive clue, weren't it? That he can't even remember
Yeah.
who he's
Yeah.
told what. I
Yeah.
think he's doing really well at covering it up, actually,
He,
considering
he
how
is. He
confused he
is doing.
probably is.
Yeah, I mean, even that scene where he was sort of scurrying through the. Oh, it's so sad. Where he was scurrying through the square on his own and was looking up at the mural on the wall and got terrified by that, then ran away from that and fell over the rubbish in the street. Like, it's just like, I can't. This is going to absolutely break me. I know it is.
Mm,
Like, because he is such a nice person. Like, this is such a stupid kind of crass sentence to say, but because no one deserves this. But my God, he doesn't deserve this. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you know what I mean
yeah,
when I say that, like, it's awful. It really,
I
really is.
know.
Um,
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
that's the phrase. That's the better way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So him and Phil, he's kind of back living with Phil at the moment. He's kind of worked out that the job he's got at the cafe, because he's basically just sort of trying to wash up dishes at the moment. But we also saw that when he was on the till, he was getting confused with money out. He's not going to be able to do that for much longer, is he?
No,
So
and
he is
Phil were
presumably
trying to
going to.
remind him how he used contactless as well, weren't he, at one
Yeah,
point?
yeah. He's going to have to tell Kathy at some point, isn't he?
Hmm.
So this
Or
is not going
Kathy's
to
probably
remain.
just going to figure it out, to be
Yeah,
honest. I wouldn't be
probably,
surprised. Yeah.
probably. Oh, so obviously
Oh,
this is all tied in with what Phil's going through at the moment. Can I just say an absolutely pitch perfect performance from Steve McFadden with this because there is something a little bit off about Phil at the moment. He's not
yeah.
like he's just down, isn't he? There's a
Hmm.
sadness to like there's a sad aura coming off him at the moment, which I think
Yes,
has
an
been really
aura, yes.
subtly kind of like coming across, which I think is really really nicely played by Steve McFadden. How much further is Phil going to fall? Do you think?
This is what I can't quite decide. Like you say, maybe once Nigel's left, that'll be real. That'll really hit Phil or something. It'll be something to do
Yeah,
with that, maybe. I don't know because
because
Phil's got depression, right?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's
Right,
100% got
yeah. This
depression.
is what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah. Because obviously Sharon's gathered the troops and gathered the family to say something's not right. They all
yeah,
think that he's getting things in order, like he's dying, don't they? Is what they were
yeah, yeah.
thinking.
Well, they thought that he
You
would.
trying to,
They were kind of basically accusing him of having dementia this week.
yeah, yeah. Is he going senile?
Yeah,
Yeah,
unaware
but
that the truth was kind of like the bloke that was scurrying through the
mm.
square outside at the time. Yeah.
Do you think
So,
Sharon's figured out that that's what it is that's wrong with Phil, or do you think she's
I don't
not
think she
figured
has
out his
worked out what she knows there's
depression?
something. No, I think she knows there's something off with him, and
Mm.
but she hasn't quite worked out why yet. Um, I think that Teddy is being fairly reasonable about the whole thing because he's still trying to make sure that Phil's okay, even though I don't think it would take too much working out to sort of kind of land on why Phil is so down whenever he and Sharon are around him.
Well,
It's
yeah, yeah. There is that in there. You might be fun.
yeah.
Come on,
So
Sharon. Did you have to pick another Mitchell?
I know it's another bold Mitchell. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sharon's been. I think Sharon has been a bit mean to Phil in that sense, because the last, she did kiss him and then just literally ran away from the responsibilities of that, and then wondered why Phil's feeling
Yeah,
a
that
little
is
bit
true.
down.
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's kind of understandable where Phil is at the moment. But I do wonder when him and Nigel stories are going to kind of cross over. Like is because normally, let's be real here, if you're doing a depression storyline in a soap, they tend to go all the way to the very edge of what people who suffer from depression can go to, i.e.
Yeah.
a suicide attempt. So is that where this is going for Phil? And Nigel is going to kind of pull him back from the brink of that and give him a sense of purpose and responsibility in looking after him?
Possibly, or is it Grant who's going to come back and look after them both or something?
Maybe.
Quite nice to see, the two hard men Mitchell brothers being in a bit of a more
Imagine them bringing Grant back for
role.
a carer storyline. That's quite mad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It'd be quite nice to see, wouldn't it? Age softens a lot of people as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Grant was fairly soft the last time he came back as well, wasn't he? Yeah. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be so sad. I do think that I think the way that they're going to frame the Nigel storyline is that they're going to really cleverly do stuff where they can bring nostalgia into it as well, not only for Nigel but for the viewer as well, with it being the 40th anniversary. I do think they're going to try and play around with that a little bit. Nigel sort of finds himself wandering around a little bit. He ends up in Reiss's house. Let's briefly discuss the Reiss stuff.
Reiss this week.
It's the court case next week.
Yes.
So he's kind of Reiss is basically telling everybody off for not showing Sonia enough dedication by going to the courts, and he wants everybody there 24 hours a day.
If only they knew the hypocrisy of it as well. He's shouting at them all. It's like, what, for the crime that you did? You're shouting at everyone else for not being there for you. Crazy.
Mad? Yeah. Oh, and also you've got Bianca locked up in a lockup. Oh, massively. Yeah. I did enjoy the fact that Yolanda can literally just walk into any house and ban people from their own kitchens while she has a conversation with the person that's also in there.
You would though, wouldn't you? She could walk into my house and be like, have a minute, Yolanda, go for it. Yeah. Invite someone else in if you want.
Have a party.
Kettle on and I'll leave room, I'll leave the house, actually,
Yeah, sure. So that's kind of going on. I think the Sonia and Reiss storyline is finally going to come back to the forefront next week, and I presume we might see Bianca again next week at some point and find out what the hell is going on with Bianca. My guess,
we're just assuming... Go on.
Well, my guess is, with it being the court case, my guess is Bianca is at some point going to escape her lockup and burst into the courtroom.
Okay.
I
think she'll wait until the anniversary. I think she'll wait until the anniversary. Yeah. If they've dragged it on this long, why would they do it in a random week in January?
True.
I reckon, it'll be an anniversary. Do you think, so the court case, is Sonia going to get released or what?
Who knows? She's going to be very pregnant. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yes, very pregnant now.
Is she going to be released? I don't know, because it seems that Natalie Cassidy is busy elsewhere these days. So I don't know how long we've got Natalie Cassidy for. Is there any answers to that?
I am now wondering if Natalie Cassidy is going to leave her role as Sonia. Yeah. And in which case, how is she going to leave her role as Sonia? Is she going to get killed off for the 40th? Possibly. That'd be a pretty big legacy character to kill off for the 40th.
Like we say, legacy characters are in danger on anniversaries. You kill off legacy characters on the big events, don't you? So who knows? It's a possibility. I will tell you, Sonia has not been seen on screen since August. So August, which is ridiculous. Like she's been gone. I mean, So I don't know. I suspect the Sonia stuff is going to kick off big time next week. So we shall see where that goes from there. Gold star this week, Ray.
You go first.
Nigel,
I'm going to actually give it to Phil based on what you were saying earlier about how well he's been doing at the road. Steve McFadden, but Phil, yeah.
There you go. Oh, Paul Bradley and Steve McFadden. Can you imagine these two powerhouses doing this storyline for the next few months? We are privileged to be watching it. I cannot wait. It's going to be marvellous. So there we go then. Phil and Nigel for the gold stars this week. Let us know who your gold stars are going to. And we'll finish the podcast as usual with some comments from you.
So, Rob, I'm going to start with a comment this week that's actually about us.
About us? Oh, dear.
Yes, it's from YouTube.
Yeah, go
on. Swanneck has said, you both seem very knowledgeable about script writing, direction and drama generally. So for those of us who are quite new around here and don't know, could you tell us your backgrounds? Did you study this at uni together and is this how you met? Love the podcast, sir. Thank you for producing it. I look forward to it every week.
Let me tell you, the way to get your comment read is to massage our egos.
Well, very lovely comment. Thank you. I'm so glad that our expertise is finally being recognised, Rob.
At last.
Should we tell everyone what we studied at uni and how we met? Do people know this?
Well, some people do. Some people might not be aware. Me and Ree did meet at uni, get this, about 20 years ago now.
Oh, you didn't need to mention that, Rob. You
It's
could have
so
just left that
depressing,
bit
I
out
know.
anyway.
We both studied drama together for a BA. I then went on and did a master's in script writing and script development. I have written books and everything. I'm in the middle of writing a book at the moment, so that's exciting. And trust me, as soon as that's getting closer to publishing, you'll be knowing about it. But yeah, I have written books and everything. So I don't know if that kind of perspective has
You're a
helped.
writer.
Yeah,
Rob's
that
nickname at
helps.
uni was Scribe. If that
Yeah, yeah.
indicates
If that's a
anything.
thing, yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Ree's read stuff that I've written, and we both we've been to
Well,
uni.
and I just read it, I
Yeah,
don't really do
yeah,
anything else. I just read
yeah.
what
What have
Rob's
you? Yeah,
written,
Rob reads. Yeah, Reed reads my writing. That's her experience. No, go on, Reed. Talk about you've written
We did
stuff and you did
drama
stuff with
together, didn't
drama.
we? Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I did do a little bit of script writing back in the
yeah.
day. Not really done anything like that recently, and we both studied drama together. But you know what? I don't think we ever actually worked on any projects
We
together
didn't. We didn't share.
during our
We didn't
degree,
in the
which
whole
is
3 years that we were at uni together and doing the same course. We didn't work on one project
we didn't
together.
work. We no.
No,
But I think that
probably
was
wise
probably a
because we
good
wouldn't have
thing.
got anything done. Tell you now,
We did
nothing we
lots
could
of
achieve.
essays not together by,
Yeah. In fact,
distracting
halfway
each
through,
other. But
if we'd have been
yes,
rehearsing something, it'd have been like, should we just go to the pub? Screw this.
we would have been awful. That's
Terrible.
exactly why fate said, no, you
There you
two aren't
go.
working together on a project.
Yeah,
Anyway, there you
exactly.
go.
There you
That's
go.
how we
So
got
that's
to know
us.
each other.
So thank you for that very nice comment. If you
Yeah,
honestly,
thank
if you want
you.
your comment read out, massage our egos. It will get. I guarantee you'll get it read. So in terms of the choice, we got quite a few comments this
Yes.
week. Rachel Newton said Ravi all day long.
Well, yeah. Lisa Waugh said, I would rather she sticks with Jack because he is gorgeous and beautiful and lovely and handsome and sexy. But she
Fair,
has to lay down the law and
fair.
say to him, no more cheating on me with Stacey. And she has to tell Ravi it is over between the both of them because Ravi's past history and she will want to
Uh-huh.
make her marriage work with Jack all together and his kids as well. So I'm rooting for Jack all the way. Come on, Jack.
There you go. You see, there
I
you
think
go.
you need to get with Jack, Lisa.
Yeah, honestly, I think Lisa wants to be with Jack more than she wants Denise to be with Jack. Fair play, Lisa.
No,
Fair
but
play.
fair enough. No,
Fair
it's like
enough.
you say, some people are saying Jack, Team
Yeah,
Jack. So there you
exactly.
go.
Stephen Brody has said I'd choose Jack not because he's the better choice, but because I want Ravi with Priya. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Like that's the thing. It's the family side of things that I don't think that people are putting Denise and Jack together because they think that Denise is better with Jack. I don't think they're that bothered about Denise's happiness. Let's not pretend.
But I was going to say, but that's not really a reason because just because you like them as a family unit,
Yeah, but
they
it's
had
not about.
problems in their relationship. So that's not a good reason to put them back
It's funny,
together.
isn't it?
If
Like,
anything, that's why they were clinging on for so long, isn't it?
yeah, like
Family.
they were sticking together because of the family unit, and that was, if
Yeah,
anything, damaged them further.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Agreed.
interesting. Yeah, but it's interesting about the people's reasoning behind wanting. Because
Yeah,
I'm literally, like I said, I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't understand in a second why anybody would say Denise needs to go back with Jack because they were a terrible pair. They were a terrible couple. They did not work together. That's why they broke
no.
up. That's why they had. That's why they cheated on each other. But it's interesting to sort of see people's reasoning behind it. And then Kylie Reiss talking about the Cindy storyline. I don't think Ian attacked Cindy. I think he just doesn't want to see her, which is understandable. I think Cindy said Ian's name because she wants him at the hospital with her, not because he attacked her. She was also attacked from behind and wouldn't have seen her attack her, so she wouldn't know if it was Ian anyway. Very, very true. Yeah, this is a very good
Yes.
point because she was whacked from behind, so she's not gonna have she's not gonna have a clue.
Well, I thought this right when I read that comment as well. She was attacked from behind, but then somebody's taken the locket.
Yeah,
So what if she's going to claim that the person who's took the locket is the person who attacked her because that's
yeah,
what she's going to think because they're the
yeah.
only person she's seen, and then they're going to arrest the wrong person, whoever it was who took the
Mm,
locket. Which is why I was wondering, will it be Ian? He's come along, taken the locket, but then not called an ambulance for her. He just wanted his
maybe,
locket back, but he didn't actually attack her.
maybe,
However, the comment could be right that she said Ian's name because she wants him there.
possibly. She did say that he is the only one that she cares about at this moment, which I think
And
we
I
all
think in her
thought
own
was
little way,
bullshit.
I think in her own weird little way,
Yeah,
she kind of does.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. We should have to wait and see next week. And I think that's going to be the secondary storyline of next week, along with the court case, I think. And you, if you wish to, can get in touch with us by doing any of the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and all your favourite podcast sites. drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/e20afterdark.
Yes, you
and
can.
Rob,
Yes, love.
I should mention
Yes.
couple of people recently have bought us coffees. So thank you very much to all you people.
Love you. Off our tits on caffeine. It's going to be marvellous. Thank you
so
much. Woo! So, yeah, that's it for this week. Join us next week to hear our discussion about the fallout from the court case and whatever Cindy, in her comatose state, might be coming out with. It should be quite a good week. And until then, it's goodbye from me. Go on, Ree. What were you going to say?
Sorry, Rob.
You always do
Just keep your eyes peeled.
Yes.
Keep your eyes peeled for our awards result episode.
Yes.
Come on, Rob. You say you always do this because you always forget something, and I always forget something.
I'm terrible. I'm an old man. That's why.
Well, I didn't want to say.
Yeah, we might be recording that very, very soon. / maybe when we finish recording this, you never know.
Soon. Just soon.
That's all you need to know. But the award show indeed will be with you in the next couple of days. So look out for that. Make sure you're subscribed and following to make sure that you can see it when it arrives in your feeds. That's it. Until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.